Welcome to Brewsers, a podcast about beer, coffee, booze, and bruisers. I am your host, Brody John, and today we talk to Orlando and Laura from LuvSip Coffee. We talk all about how they got started, being a minority-owned business, and so much more. I had to put this episode out today because it is the day before Valentine's Day, and who doesn't want more love in their life? So while you're doing that, make sure to go and get that LuvSip coffee for yourself and your loved ones. A little bit of love in every sip. While you're doing that, make sure to sign up for our newsletter. It comes out twice a week. You get even more information about our guest. You get fun facts, and you get to find out what's happening with your favorite podcast, all about beer, coffee, booze, and bruisers. So without further ado, here is Orlando and Laura from LuvSip Coffee. I would like to welcome to the show Orlando and Laura with LuvSip Coffee. How are y'all today?
We're doing great, John. Thank you for having us.
Very good.
This is new for us, but we're excited to do this. Yeah.
Good. Now, for everyone listening, kind of paint us a word picture. Where are you at and what's going on around y'all?
So we're city-wise. We're in a little town called Richmond. We're south of Houston. So it's kind of Richmond, Sugar Land area. Maybe, depending on where you're at in Houston, could be 30 minutes, could be 20 minutes away. But so we consider ourselves local. I mean, we drive into Houston. Our warehouse is in Houston. So and it's where we keep all of our beans, our product, pretty much everything is over there.
Very nice. So what is y'all's earliest memory of coffee?
Oh, my earliest memory of coffee is I was probably, 7 years old or less. I remember seeing my dad every morning drinking coffee. In Colombia, for sure, coffee is part of the day-to-day and very traditional. And it's funny because whenever I say the way he was drinking it, and some people drink it in Colombia, it's a bit weird. So he used to, I think he still does, he used to put a little, some pieces of cheese, like type of mozzarella cheese or any cheese that melts in the coffee, just like a regular drip coffee, like an Americano with some cheese at the bottom. And I remember waiting for him to finish his coffee just to get the cheese. So that's the earliest memory I have on it.
I think for me is seeing my mom drink coffee growing up, and she always prepared it with cream and sugar, and so it was always light brown, and I always associated it with being something sweet, so I always thought it was sweet. She never let me try it, but I always considered it to be something, so I guess, looked like hot chocolate, I guess. And so that's what I remember, and I knew that, once I was old enough, I always wanted to try it. And yeah, that's actually how I drink it now. I think because of her, just because of the way it looked. I like some, like some half and half and some sugar in the raw, but, I can also do black with a little bit of, turbinado sugar. So yeah, but that's my earliest memory.
I have never heard cheese in coffee, and that I'm very
interested. You have to try. Every time I say this.
I haven't even tried it yet, so
you have to try it.
You tell me how it is if you try it.
Just some pieces.
Yeah, I'm looking up on Google right now, and they have like a square of cheese in there. I'm like, oh, I don't probably.
Yes, exactly, little square.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's got to be like a cheese that melts easy, like a little square of mozzarella, or something, and I don't know what the gist of it behind it is, but I guess I don't know. It's just everybody has their own little thing, so maybe I'll try one day.
Well, this article is saying it's a northern Scandinavian tradition. So it's like a drink meal in which cubes of cheese are released into a cup of coffee. Interesting. Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, that is interesting. Has your dad been to Scandinavia?
No. Northern Scandinavia and the north of Colombia as well. So.
Yeah.
Tomato, they're all the same.
Oh, yeah.
So how did LuvSip Coffee begin?
Well, this is something that we actually still talk about because it's kind of surreal for us. It started out with us just wanting to basically import specialty coffee beans from Colombia, from these small farms, to the U.S. and a lot of Americans here and U.S. citizens don't have access to certain type of beans. And so it went from that, talking about that and eventually just having our own brand. We were just talking like, why do we need to sell somebody else's beans? Like, what if we just create our own brand? We love coffee that much. I've been drinking coffee for so many years. And I know she has. And so we decided, hey, let's do it. We just decided, let's do it. Let's have our own brand. Let's start from the ground, from ground zero. And that's how it began. Just wanting to sell beans. And then it went from that to, we might as well just have our own brand. We love coffee that much that we want our own brand.
Well, so, obviously you have the connection to Colombia. How did the relationship building begin when it came to getting the beans?
Well, I think a lot of it was just doing research. So reaching out to these farms and basically talking to them and saying, hey, we would love to sell your product. We're based in the U.S. And then from there, just questions arise like, hey, do you sell beans, like green beans? Not just, because a lot of these farms, have their own brand. They sell their product, in shops. A lot of them have their own coffee shops. And so once we asked that and we found out, yeah, of course we'll sell you our green beans. Like, why not? So it was like a light bulb went off in our head and we're like, okay, so yeah, you'll sell us the green beans. And from there, just trying to keep it local after that. Once we realized, we have access to farms and beans, we wanted to kind of keep it local and keep it here in the U.S. So we started doing our research with that. And we found our partner, so to speak, is an excellent roaster, over 40 years in the coffee business. And so, yeah, we kind of partnered with him. Yeah, they've got a lot of experience, and we were blessed to kind of stumble upon him. And so, yeah, that's who we work with now.
So what kind of roasting do y'all do? Because I know there's multiple ways to roast coffee. What's y'all's method of doing it?
So we actually have a special process where when we roast them, it produces low acid coffee. And that's one of our signature things that we do as a company is we provide low acid coffee. It's a special process of when it's done. Not only, also grinding as well. So we do a stone ground, which is different from your typical burr grinder. Burr grinders produce a lot of heat and they're typically, stainless steel metal. And a lot of that heat takes a lot of the flavor away from the beans. So the way we grind our beans is by stone, and doesn't produce any heat. And it kind of makes the beans actually not uniform. Like it's better for the coffee. Different shapes, different sizes. And, and the most important thing, it doesn't produce heat. So, and that what keeps our beans with that flavor. You get the whole taste of the beans. As far as roasting, yeah, like I said, it's a special process that we do. But it basically takes off the chaff. It removes the chaff of the bean. And, coffee is naturally acidic and everybody has their different palates. Some people like, high acidic flavors and coffees like that. For me, drinking coffee for so many years, but also suffering from reflux and indigestion and that burn. When we came upon this coffee, it was like a life changer. So you get the low acid, but you also get the smooth, rich flavor of the beans, of the coffee, and it's gut friendly.
Yes, it's still a very bold coffee, but feels smooth, and especially I'm in between the way I drink coffee. I like to drink it with a bit of milk, just because I didn't find before a coffee that felt, smooth to drink, just black coffee, no sugar, nothing added. But with our coffee, I finally found that option, and it's being able to feel that smoothness without adding any creamer, any milk, which as well, it all depends on how you like the coffee, right? But at the same time, it's a bold coffee, and intensity goes as well, depending on the way you prepare it. So you need to try it. It's very good.
I was very interested because I saw that you guys do have the low acidity coffee, and I know a lot of people have issues, obviously, with some acidity, and they can't, or that may be why they don't drink coffee. But now that they have this option, I think a lot more people could get turned back on to drinking coffee again.
Well, yeah, we talk to a lot of people, and all we get is just so much positive feedback on. And a lot of people have the reflux, and they have the indigestion problems, and they have the gut problems, and they say that they love coffee, but they haven't been able to drink it until they drink ours. And of course, for me, I've been in the fitness industry for about 12 years. I've been a trainer and a coach for 12 years now. And so this is right up my alley when we're talking about, acidity, and acidity versus the body, and how, negatively it can affect the body. It does affect the body, high acidity and arthritis and bone and joint issues. So for me to discover this and to drink it myself and knowing, I need to be taking care of my body is just amazing. And this is the only coffee that I can drink actually black, straight up. So it's, for me personally, I know it's very good if I can drink it without any cream and sugar and still just enjoy it. That's some damn good coffee. Yeah, I'm assuming you're a coffee drinker?
Yes, sir. Yes, I do enjoy myself some coffee.
Excellent.
I mean, obviously, depending on the coffee, depending if I get
some.
I'm not going to say no. I'll take the coffee all day.
We're typically drinking 2 to 3 times a day.
Yeah, I usually start my day with at least 2 cups, and then go through the day. Maybe a little more caffeine, maybe a little less, depending. But yeah.
Yeah. So, excellent. Yeah, we'll definitely send you some coffee.
I'd appreciate that. Now, when it comes to starting a brand, you have to decide on the logo, the name, the packaging, all of that stuff. How did y'all decide on all of those things?
So we worked with a company actually in Colombia that we really like. It was our first experience with them, and we just didn't want to jump into creating a logo straight, right? We wanted to create a whole branding process. We had several workshops with them to define what did we want to transmit with the brand, all the why, all the behind doing this, and why we were loving doing this. So it was a series of workshops, brainstorming, research, investigation of the market, and then we came with the brand that we have today that we really love. But we not only love the logo, the name, but everything behind it, and all the little or big steps that we took to define it, right? And all the meanings on it. For example, it's a logo that it looks like a heart. It's a heart for sure from LuvSip, but at the same time, the center of the heart is a drop. It's a drop of coffee. So every single detail on this process was discussed and
created